Hey, everybody, come on in. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. The chat is open. Come on in. We've got some great artwork to look at today.
It's trying to escape.
It is. Look at that. Luckily, my tripod is in the way. Awesomeness. I've got it on a slight angle in order to help with the light.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Comics by Night. We're going to run the opening and hope that Russ gets here. We're not sure about Scott Roseman. I haven't heard from him in a couple of days, so he might not be here.
Is he okay? I mean, we don't have to worry about him.
I always worry about him. What are you talking about? Anyway, that's just the way it is. Here we go with the opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
Welcome in, everybody. It's Comics by Night. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I've been doing alternative and independent comics for many decades, and really happy to be able to do this program where we show off some of the best of the best. And this episode, in my opinion, is the best of the best. So along with us, we've got the best of the best. Mr. Glenn Fleming is here. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've done lots of magazines and artwork in my time, and I'm going to cut this short because I really want to get on with this Manhunter artwork. But I do have if I can just say, an Indiegogo. Just sign up for my new comic Hatch. This is issue 2. So please go to Indiegogo, put my name in, and sign up for this for the pre-launch.
Sweet. Also with us is Mitch Rogers. Introduce yourself, Mitch.
Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. It is me, Mitch Rogers, awake this early on a Friday.
It's 5 a.m. where we are.
Yeah, I'm Mitch Rogers, a horror comics creator from Greenville, South Carolina, and I'm the creator of the Boger horror comic book series, which will be relaunched as an ongoing at the end of this month. I'll start doing the crowdfunding campaign.
And give me just a second. Somebody introduce Russ for him, will you? No. We've got Russ Leach here with us from Only Death Can Save Us. He's also done work on Doctor Who Quarterly. He's done, or Doctor Who Monthly, I should say.
Yeah.
And the Panini Batman for the European market. So he's seen almost all over the world, except for here. He's also done a lot of alternative and independent comics work in his time. Did How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way for the European market. Oh. There he is.
Sorry.
You're all right.
I'm back now. I'm back in the room.
Are you done dancing?
I've done. Yes, I've done a little dance. That's good. So, sorry. Good morning, everybody. My son just got a job, so I'm very happy.
Good.
Oh, you had to go dance. Okay.
Will we doing introductions?
Yes, it's you.
Hello, my name's Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK, and I'm very old, which is why I've got a son looking for a job. Right.
Well, he's not looking anymore. He's got one, right?
No. Well, yeah. Hopefully, there may even be a second one on the way later. You can see me in Batman magazine. You can see me in all the other kinds of stuff. I've got loads of stuff here. Only Death Can Save Us. Check me out, and you can find me at russleach.com. There you go. Introduction over. Ta-da.
All right.
Let's go.
Blowing this up.
Manhunter.
Oh,
yes.
This is the Artisan Edition of Walter Simonson's and Archie Goodwin's Manhunter. This ran as a backup feature in Detective Comics while Archie was editor for DC and Detective Comics. Meant to be a complete counterweight to the Batman character. Ran in the back of Detective for, I think, 7 or 8 installments, and then Manhunter and Batman crossed over as Archie was leaving as editor, and they decided to end the character. That's why a lot of you out there have probably never seen this work. If you haven't, then you're in for a real treat. This is Simonson's first work for DC. He might have done a little bit of independent work. Besides that, I believe he was in Adventure Stories magazine for Atlas Comics when Atlas was running. And Archie's, or not Archie, but Walt Simonson's first real published work was in the back of a Magnus, the robot fighter comic from Gold Key when he was 13 years old. He sent in a picture of a robot that they printed in the back of the book.
Wow. Can I just say that that's one of the best drawings of an NG-38 I've ever seen at the bottom there. But why does it only have his name on? Why does it not have Archie's name on?
Archie's on the inside, but it's all the since it's the Artisan Edition,
Of course,
it's celebrating more of the artwork.
Yeah.
Plus, from the story that I've heard, and forgive me if it's not accurate, but Archie keeps all of his original artwork. Or not Archie, but Walter keeps all of his original artwork. So this is shot directly off of the originals that he provided IDW.
Wow.
Plus, this book is huge. As you see, there's my hand, grown man's hand right there, and it is rather large, about as big as the Steranko book that we had before.
Is it life size per the original artwork?
Yes, I'd say so. Very easy.
Well, I'm one of those people who's not seen a lot of this work, so I know I'm in for a treat with this one.
I grew up with this character. I absolutely was drawn to it right from the start, right from the first episode, and it's one of my favorite pieces of artwork.
So when's this from? Sort of 72, 73?
I think it's 75, 76, if I'm not mistaken. And again, this was just a backup feature on in Detective Comics for a long time, and Simonson really went out and proved himself the consummate professional master of this. You're going to see all sorts of influences in here, all sorts of amazing sequentials, panel breaks. This is where he starts doing the lettering that runs off of the panel.
You know what I'm going to say about the lettering there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Look at it.
It's fantastic. I'm pretty sure he didn't do the lettering, but he did all of the artwork on this. He really busted himself doing it too. As you'll see, there are pages here that have 21 panels on a page.
Wow. Good Lord.
And it is a grand example of sequential artwork, especially of storytelling compressed into 7 pages. How do you tell? How do you make that much distance that fast? And Simonson makes it look incredibly
21
easy.
panels in a page.
Yeah,
it's the apocalypse. It's madness. Cats and dogs living
together.
See
that.
As you'll see, it is definitely a work of art. This is a Walt Simonson Manhunter and other stories. There are a couple other issues that Simonson did in this as well, some of his DC work that we'll probably cover in next week, depending on how fast we get through this. Simonson Manhunter and Other Stories is an artist edition, is part of an ongoing series, one dedicated to showcasing outstanding artists in a format as special as their work deserves. This one, Walt says this one's for Annie and Archie, without whose guidance, support, and kindness, Manhunter would never have happened, and for Scott Dunbar, because Manhunter doesn't have any bigger fans. I don't know about that. And as always, it's for Wheezy, who loved the way I drew hands. So, Louise Simonson being his wife. It's table of contents.
Batman.
Opening page. And again, this was meant to be a counter to Batman. So it's a lot more violence. There's a lot more killing. And it's an incredibly interesting story. One that captured me as a youth that I really enjoyed. It's also a major golden age, or not a major, but a minor golden age character reboot.
Yeah, it's a Kirby character, isn't it?
A Kirby character, yes. Kirby's Manhunter. And they explain that as we go in. But
You know it's going to be good with that chapter 1 when it says the Himalayan incident. It's a real sort of Tintin type of title, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I love stuff like that where they incorporate, or
Yeah,
they find ways to incorporate the title into
Yeah.
the first page like that. Will Eisner on the Spirit did it a lot.
yeah.
There is a lot of Eisner influence in this, as you'll see. Just an incredible amount. It's really a culmination of Walt's love for comics. So, Dangerous here has been redone. So obviously it was a most something else game, or he spelt dangerous wrong.
Yeah.
I love seeing stuff like that on original artwork. Where they mess up because
Yeah.
because the amount of whiteout I put on my stuff, it makes me feel a lot better about my own work.
Men are Indian and Chinese, different skin tones than Manhunter. Little note along the bottom. Along the side there, we see, I'm going to have to get up in order to look at that closer. My failing eye. Forgive the shadow. Market in money in girls' hands, green. Another note here down the side. I almost have to turn it. It's a colorist. See Manhunter. Something. Probably to see the lettering or the coloring guide for Manhunter. I
like the way they kept it. He's kept him in the shadow before we see who he is, type of thing.
Yeah.
Even though we've seen him on the cover.
And here you've seen the danger. No, you don't. Well, we've seen him on the cover of this book, but here he was a backup feature in Batman. You didn't see him until this.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe a shot of his head down along the bottom of the book, or in the sometimes up in the top part. But after a while, the people were buying Detective just for this story. You can see the impending danger here in the last page. The guy's about to pull the knife out. People are surrounding him, so he takes it out.
I'm sure on the top left.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to regret getting that knife out. Yeah, it's fabulous. Look at that.
As Luke Stone would say, he woke up this morning and chose violence. So. Meanwhile, the girl is out looking for this guy, this Paul Kirk dude. And,
so again, what size was this being drawn
on? 11-17, isn't it? Is it?
Is this actual size?
I would say so. It's 10 by... Yeah, it's 10 by 15.
Right, okay. So he's on
the paper was 11 by 17.
The 11 by 17 paper, yeah.
I'm impressed with his weapons. Look at, is that a Volta on the...
Great shadow.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
He obviously likes drawing weapons because they're very accurate.
Well, he was out to prove himself on this, so he liked drawing everything. And he really took his time doing it too.
Yeah. I think it depends. Like I've drawn stuff where it's not as important. So you give a generalized version of something like an object, and then you'll do another project, and you'll go and find reference for absolutely everything.
Yep. 4 pages in, we're looking at a 12-panel page.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's 14.
It's 14. Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's 14. Yeah.
And the sequence
right.
in that center set.
Yep.
Of 9 panels. That's just.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And the feet, the feet are obviously gripping the ground. You can feel the tension. It's excellent.
Do you know what he used to ink this?
I am not sure. I'm not sure what he works. I would love to interview him, though. That would be.
I think it's a pen. I think it's a pen.
Oh, I'm sure it's a pen. Yeah, I'm positive it's a pen.
I just can't tell if it's a quill pen or a technical pen.
I'd say a quill pen.
It's not a tech pen, no.
Or a dip pen.
I don't think it's your standard crow quill either, because the line weight is a lot heavier. And you see he's got this great thick to thin ability on that as well. If it's a crow quill, it's a very bendable tip. It's line work here.
I'd like to see the pencils on this.
I don't think you can. I don't know if they exist. It's amazing that he kept his originals. There's little touches of white out.
You know the
Oh,
guy on the
this.
right-hand page, look, who's sort of looking at the audience, bottom at the bottom, right at the bottom. This guy on the next page.
This guy.
I see a lot of sort of Mike Grell in that.
Yeah, you can.
That
Yep.
line.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
not a bad thing, is it?
That's Paul Kirk here. He's got a little cowl on,
Right.
so you can't see his full ear. Never realized how ridiculous his costume was. Somebody was talking about it a couple years back. And, I'm like, I never thought the costume was remotely ridiculous when I was reading it before. He's got
It's a
cages around his ankles.
testament to the story, really, isn't it?
He's got cages around his ankles. What's up with that? Anyway,
Well, they're very important ankles.
they are, as we will see. Anyway,
Well, this was back in the 70s. It's like everyone was wearing them.
everyone was throwing ninja stars, and everybody was in
Yeah.
ninja costumes. Yeah,
It was a big thing. It was a cultural thing.
it's also a flowing robe, as they explain a little later. He keeps a lot of weapons in it. Not quite secret squirrel style, but almost.
Secret Squirrel.
He's obviously after a fight. He's got the old arrow in him.
Those ankle boot things are crazy, aren't they? Imagine drawing that panel after panel.
Here, the little cages. Yeah.
That's got shades of Neil Adams about that.
Yeah. I
It's
thought
got a
that
lot
right at the beginning with the splash page, it was very Neil
Yeah.
Adams.
Yeah.
Shades of Neil Adams. Yeah.
There's a lot of everybody here. I'm telling you, it's just great. Just phenomenal. Look at the angle here.
Because you can see. I mean, I don't know. You obviously don't know the motivations because we all change our styles in small increments,
Mhm.
and we also do. We might go for a particular look, which might be stretching our style in a different direction. I mean, that
Right.
happens for all artists that are doing sequential art.
Yeah.
But you can also see. So, for instance, you go and look at his latest stuff, and then also, which is very similar. Really, it's like a sort of just a little bit of a beefed up version of all the stuff he was doing in Fantastic Four and Thor.
Yeah.
But this isn't. You can see his lines in here that are reminiscent of that stuff.
Mhm.
But like I say, that especially that top panel on the left, that looks so Neil Adams, and you can see like the more organic, more care he's taken with it.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Lovely.
Yeah. Also, I like the subtle a part of that panel where he's leaning on the panel border.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And violating the floor
Yeah.
here as well. Yeah. That's
Well,
to
we
draw-
all do that.
Draw your attention.
We'll violate the
yeah.
floor from one time to another.
Considering this is his first job, he's taking a lot of chances with things like that, isn't he? But isn't that great? But with the hand outside the panel and all that.
He's
Well, with it being
working.
a backup, I'm sure there's more flexibility to be different.
He's working to impress here.
Yeah.
Which is maybe why you can see the Neil Adams influence.
Let me see what we got here. I was kind of hoping that this was going to blow up a little farther, but no. We still have that frame, the Comics by Night frame around it. So I don't know how
Why
to
does
get
it
rid
do
of that. I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of it. Wish I did. Huh. Anyway. We hope you can see it, folks. If not, get a big TV.
So this was in Detective Comics.
Yeah.
As a foil to Batman, because he's obviously in Detective, isn't he?
Well, it's a backup story in Detective, yeah.
Right.
They usually had the main story run 18 to 20 pages, and then this was 6 or 7. This is 8 pages here, 8-page backup. And I want to say Julie St. Christie is the main character here. Christine St. Aubin.
Look at the last page is 11 panels.
It's been a little while.
What
But
an outro.
she's out looking for Paul Kirk, and this guy here steers her in the wrong direction. And then when she leaves, it turns out he was actually Paul Kirk.
That center panel there, that shadow really threw me. I couldn't work out.
Yeah, the more I look at this, the more if I didn't know it was him, I wouldn't necessarily guess it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not quite got that Simonson style.
It's not the
100%,
the extra stylistic Simonson, is it? Like I say,
That's
this is there to get him into the biz.
Yeah.
It's very raw, very visceral, even with the line work that he uses, almost overuses sometimes. The line weight and the just the line work in general. Like look here at the ink work back.
I'd be interested to see what he was consuming at the time.
Yeah.
You know, whether he was looking at Alcala stuff or.
I think he's looking at everything to be
yeah,
fair.
well,
I'm sure he's looking at everything at this point.
Yeah, because
that's why there's so many influences here.
Some of it's very dense.
Yeah.
And there's been some reworking on the girl walking away there. A lot of white and the guy's arm.
It's weird because if you look on that right hand page with the big splash panel, that doesn't look like him.
No.
Okay, that doesn't look like a Simonson panel. But if you look on the left hand page with the girl walking away, you can see where he's going to be.
Yeah.
You can see where his style is taking him, because that is very Simonson.
This is also the mid. This is 73. That's what this is dated. It's 73, 873. But the underground comics are running really hard here, and there is a big outlaw black and white movement rolling, or just starting to roll here in the States, where you're seeing a lot of this line work in order to cover the fact that they were black and white instead of color.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of that here, a lot of scratchiness, a lot of what the kayfabe guys just did a video on outlaw comics, and they were talking about how they would fill up with patterns and zip screens and all of that. That's just a great period in alternative comics that I deeply miss.
Yeah, I like
you're seeing some of that feel in this.
I like the pattern on that guy's coat on the right hand page.
That's a real 60s newspaper strip style, that cross hatching on that jacket.
Yeah.
For Garth and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. It's not. It doesn't look like. Wouldn't look like that, would it? There's no folds in it.
Yeah. Well, just took a ruler.
But it works. It's good.
Absolutely. Yep. They caught him stowing away, so they gave him a tiger.
Like you do. There you go.
They threw down a tiger. So of course, when you're faced with a tiger, you have to pull a Bundy dagger out from under your cloak in order to handle it. It's a large, sharp knife.
Bundy dagger. The poor tiger.
Yeah. He feels bad for it.
Yeah, but it does.
Well,
That's
it's
part
either
of
the
that.
tiger or him.
Yeah, that's why he feels bad for it. It explains it in here. Manhunter. This episode goes into Manhunter's origin originally, as they Christine here tries to find him.
He seems to be going further and further away, doesn't he, from his own style in these couple of pages. Look at that face at the bottom of the cigarette. I mean, you wouldn't like Russ said, you wouldn't know it was Simonson. I don't think if you just looked at it.
That's just where he made his name.
Yeah,
I'm
not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's looking.
Oh no, absolutely.
It seems to be quite away from where we know he is now.
We're still, in the age of bell-bottom pants.
Flares, yeah. Fantastic.
Bell bottoms.
This is all line work here. A little bit of probably white out.
Yeah.
Streaking up there, up in here too. There's scratch out. Just great. He chases everybody else off the boat once he had to kill the tiger. So 73. What was out about that time? This is
New Gods was out then, Mr. Miracle.
It was still a couple years away from Wolverine.
Yeah.
And Manhunter here has quick healing properties, which is why he takes so much abuse.
Oh, that's why I survived those arrows.
Yeah. So as far as I know, he's the first one to have that healing factor.
So he's copying Captain Scarlet, is he?
Yeah, kind of.
Indestructible.
When was Scarlet out? He heals quick like Wolverine. Yeah, probably. Again, Archie pulling from all sorts of different sources. You know, the two of them were really working on this together.
It's great. Isn't it? It's fantastic.
It's out. There's an assassination that happened. The guy pulls that, shoots a grenade out, and it turns out to be Manhunter. Or Manhunter is there to stop him. He looks like Paul Kurt, but there's a reason for that. Nice long exposition panel. Got a lot of information to tell, so he has an interesting perspective. 2-point here. Nice curved lens. That was a sigh of envy, wasn't it?
I was just, yeah, there were just a couple of panels that I just went, oh, they're just so nice.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great view of that explosion? Because you're under the car, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
this really, when you get up close to it, it's blotches and lines.
Yeah.
Like Mitch was saying, you know, you can look at this, much like we looked at the Steranko stuff.
Yeah.
And you can pick out bits that look janky.
Yeah.
And all that does is serve to inspire you even more.
Yeah.
because,
it does, yeah.
Because these people are genius level, you know, the people that we're picking out.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them develop when you look at their earlier work. I mean, you know, looking at Buscema's earlier work does inspire me. You know, because you can see the development of these people and how they grew as artists over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And also the fact that even their mistakes end up looking great. It doesn't matter that there's the odd janky thing. It's like, as an overall feel, it's gorgeous.
It is.
And that just inspires you to just keep hammering away, you know.
Well, that
you'll never be
jankiness,
them, but you know, you can be the best you can be, you know.
That jankiness also adds to their style.
Exactly.
You know, that's all part of style here.
And that's a lesson in itself, because as an artist, we've all done it, and we all suffer from it, looking for perfection. But you know, perfection is the enemy of great.
Yeah, nobody is ever going to be perfect. But
no, exactly.
You know.
So just let it flow. Let yourself do your thing and be you, and you will find your style. And that's why these people. That's part of the greatness of a lot of the people that we talk about on here.
Mm-hmm.
Is not the perfection of their work, but the fact that they're all unique.
Yeah.
The fact that they all stand out as individuals. The fact that you can look at a page of their work. And okay, we're looking at this and going, oh, there's a little bit Neil Adams or whatever, but you can still see Simonson in his early work as well.
Yeah.
That you can look at their work, especially once they've developed, and go, I know who drew that.
Yeah,
that in itself is incredible.
You did right, because I don't read, let's call them modern day comics now, but when I do have a quick glance in Forbidden Planet and places,
Mm-hmm.
All the art looks the same.
Yeah,
a lot of it does.
So,
yeah, there are a few that
this.
standouts, but yeah, a lot of it does look the same. Yeah,
it's the same type. You're either super realistic or you're goofy, cartoony with no life.
Yeah,
it's just soulless look to it.
Yeah, and it's like so for instance on Only Death, my artwork is a little bit more open, okay, and but I'm not filling in with color. I'm not hoping the color's going to do the work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And a lot of modern styles seem to be based on outlines with a very good colorist filling in.
Yeah.
And when the colorist isn't of a very good standard, as in they also know anatomy, it can look really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these guys knew what they were doing right from off the bat.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter whether there's color on it or not.
It's because they can draw. It's like when you look at Mobius' work, there's a foundation there, good drawing, and the color. I mean, the colors on Mobius are amazing, but when you see them in black and white, they work just as well. because he can
Yeah.
color.
And the previous work that Simonson had done before this in Adventure Story magazine, that was in black and white. And it was
Right.
drawn like this.
Yeah.
Just amazing. I just wanted to point out the succession of panels here. The assassin shoots the grenade. Throwing star comes out of nowhere, knocks the grenade aside behind the truck.
Yeah. Look at that. The guy, the sniper, the BWAM center
Yes.
panel.
Yep.
Look at the other page where he's firing. Look at the recoil on his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Just those two lines, just because you know how that
Boom.
works with that- with that
Yeah.
weapon.
You can feel the shoulder go back slightly from the
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
And the Western cinematography, the villain turns, the hero looks, takes another star, throws it, kills him automatically. What a great angle here. That's very Adams right there.
Yeah. Well, the hand.
That
The hand is very Adams. Yeah.
Very much so. Then here's another attempted kidnapping. We have a paper clip here to show that she's looking at her file. Here with a couple of thugs that amazingly look like Paul Kirk kidnapping an ambassador, and then Kirk is hanging outside the window using another ninja claw device.
Ninja claw.
Yeah. Where they coolly surveyed the night sky, patiently waiting, not sensing their mistake. Five, 6, 8 here. Again, he swings in, quick fight. Copter comes in, mows him down. Gets up, puts a larger, what is that? A larger stock on the on his gun and takes out the helicopter. Boom.
There's some great letter in there for you.
Yeah.
Glenn. Butter.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's fantastic.
That explosion's wonderful.
See that when he puts that stock on that weapon, I don't know what it's called, but it's a German First World War
Mauser.
And they do have a stock that fits on like that weapon.
Manhunter's pistol appears to be the 2916 model Mauser.
Yeah,
but it has very obviously been specifically modified for use today.
Yeah,
as has its ammunition.
Well, they used to the German officers used to have that Mauser in the First World War, and it did have a stock, and it had a bigger clip as well. I think the clip on it is a 6 clip, but you can put a 12 clip on it, I think. But there is a bigger clip, and if you remember the Man from U.N.C.L.E., they used a Walter PK for their weapon, and they had a stock and a larger magazine as well sometimes. So
that was the gun that they used to sell as a kid's toy as a camera that folded up into a gun. Yeah, and very early Transformer.
Yeah,
these Germans
Megatron.
Make very good weapons, you know.
Yeah,
very accurate.
Unfortunately, yes, they made a lot of good weapons.
Yes,
they always had the loveliest uniforms as well because they had the Italians on their side.
God.
Anyway, that'll get us struck for sure.
It's true.
Oh well.
It's true. The Italians,
it doesn't have to be false in order to get struck by you.
One of the big.
It was
one of the design houses was involved.
Yeah,
with the German uniforms.
I know it was. Can I say it?
What?
Can I say the name?
What name?
The name of the designer.
Oh, you might as well. Yeah.
Isn't it Hugo Boss?
I thought.
Yeah. I'm sure you're right. Yeah. I'm sure you're right. Yeah.
This is not. This is.
It's not old news.
Hideous lies. This is truth. This is fact. It's history.
Yeah,
and like I say, it's not a secret, really, is it?
Nope.
There's that weapon again. Let's see that particular handle they have, and the clip. You can see where the clip would fit in. Well, the clip there'll be bullets in that, but you can get a bigger clip. It's a fantastic weapon. And also, just while we're here, that weapon was used to design Han Solo's weapon. And then later in Blade Runner, they based it on that as well.
Yep.
Look at that top panel.
Yeah. Look at the
That's all-
detail on that side.
Isn't that
All
amazing?
kinds of bonkers. That's great.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. I'm just getting a lot of Mike Grell from those faces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
look at the shadow shading on panel 1.
Grow was
4.
rolling hard at
Yeah.
this point, though, right? He was doing Warlord by now,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
That's
great
that,
He was showing off his stuff, stretching his
that
muscles.
mid panel with the shadow on the guy's face is
Yeah,
a little
Mitch was just saying that,
Steranko-ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then at the bottom, you've got Eisner with all that
Yeah,
Right here. Yeah.
and all the lettering at the
the
bottom as
letter
well.
at the bottom.
Yeah, being part of the
Fabulous.
page. Fantastic. That's a cracking page. That.
They would do that a lot in sequentials at this period, especially when they didn't have a lot of room. They would squeeze the next
Oh God.
next episode's name here.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm
speaking
just
of
looking at
Eisner-
the right-hand page here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Joe-
looking
Joe
at
does
that.
that.
Yeah.
With a guy in the barrel. Phew.
A bit cartoony, isn't it?
That is a bit.
Obviously, this
Flappy
page
flip.
has seen a little bit of sun. It's very
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah.
The paste over.
Lovely. I like the shadow as well. It's not black. He's just gone for a crosshatch on it.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
very big in those days.
And again, we've got
More
the
cross hatching here as well.
we've got the title on the wall. Very Eisner again.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Very
Very
effective.
much so.
Like Mitch was saying earlier, he likes to see that. I think it's fantastic, that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Christine St. Clair. She's still looking for Manhunter. She's still looking for Paul Kirk, and she ends up finding him after he's gone through a large battle and he's recuperating.
He's not
against the
feeling
wall.
too well.
Says Miss St. Clair, been wondering when you'd arrive. Forgive me if I don't stand up. Third episode in, we're getting the origin story.
Oh, look at
Oh, look at that elephant! My
Wow.
Look at that guy. Oh, whack.
He's sitting there healing
died.
anyway, so he's talking to Christine. This is where the two
Phantom in
characters
the
really
middle.
bond. No, that's the Golden Age Manhunter.
Oh,
This was in color. He'd be all red except for the blue mask here around his eyes, which is why he's got red and blue incorporated in his
Is it the
costume.
same person?
Yes,
Yeah.
All right.
it is the same person.
Costume change.
This was one of those stories when I was a kid. I reread and reread and reread because it just amazed the heck out of me. He explains to Christine that he used to be the World War II manhunter. He started out as a big game hunter and then decided to hunt the world's most dangerous game. Says, unchallenged as a hunter, I sought more dangerous game and found it in criminals. Donning mask and costume, I became manhunter. It's a lot of guys, men about town did that back in those days.
yeah.
But then
I've had
again-
enough of this. I'm getting myself
Yeah,
a costume.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
they
gonna
also
go beat
seem
up
to
some
know
thugs.
the evil that lurks in men's minds.
That too.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But by then there was war. At government request, I retired as a crime fighter and turned my skills to secret behind the lines jobs, violent and deadly, dirty and ugly, as well as all sense of adventure. Since all sense of adventure died for me in the war. Weary, revulsed, I came to Africa in 45, meaning to pick up my old life, and found that I couldn't. That what had been sport now seemed senseless and brutal. Unintentionally, I missed my shot.
He had an epiphany. So,
Well, look at that.
so the
You know-
man who you would have despised as a hunter,
Yeah.
saw the wrong, saw the error of his ways.
The
Had an
brutality.
epiphany.
But
and
look at that.
became a good person in the end.
The,
Surely
by
that's
killing
an arc,
people.
isn't it? Yeah, but killing bad people. Let's face. I mean, it is a superhero strip.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is, it's like there's an arc. There's a he's found the right way. He's found the right path.
Yeah.
But
and
this-
isn't that part of the hero's journey as well?
So intentionally, I missed my shot, but the sound carried into the bush and brought a startled, half-mad bull elephant charging up. So my party fled, but there was no chance for me to run. I brought my rifle up a frantic gesture, but it was much too late. Made much too late.
He died.
What a great shot there. And again, you're using the economy of page here. You don't have a lot of space to tell that big of a story, but that elephant was important.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
I mean,
see
what a
he's
shot. When you
used a
consider
lot of
all the
reference.
panels on the other pages and that
Yeah.
he went for only 3 there. Yeah.
It also upholds that saying, doesn't it? No good deed goes unpunished. So he misses the gazelle and gets trampled by an elephant
Yes.
because of the sound.
Yeah, but this is very clever, because what's happened is you can look at him as a lost person, a wrong person for going out and hunting animals, and then he did some questionable stuff in the war, but it was for the right purpose,
The right
as it
reason.
were.
Yeah.
And that he's suffered the consequences eventually, so that means that he can be reborn as a purer hero. And there's a lot of meta in there. It's a great story.
It is. It gets better too.
Yeah.
The world was blotted out in a crimson haze of pain, and the last thing I heard was a sound like the wings of the angel of death, flapping, beating as she drew near, and then I died.
You see, that's what we're missing in a lot of modern comics, modern stories.
That's Archie.
Being responsible for your actions, and
Absolutely.
then having the consequences, and then coming back and doing the right thing, and that arc is being lost. It's okay to be wrong so that you can be right.
Right. It's what they used to call writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this. The ends always justify the means now, and no, that's not how the world works.
Nope.
Yeah, whether you think that's the way the world works or whether you like it to be that way, it isn't.
Yeah.
People are people. Yeah.
As a break in the story, another guy sneaking up from behind that he takes out. Blam
blam. Blam.
Or Christine takes out, and they continue the story. It was a helicopter that took him.
Is that
to
Kennedy?
To a secret base.
Yeah. JFK, isn't it?
They took its body and put him in suspended animation.
Next to Captain America.
In order to heal him. Yeah. Winter Soldier, probably.
In an ice block next to Captain America and 15 other people.
Chuck him in with the others.
Well, another one.
Another
Another one faulty.
Bloody super soldiers.
He's held in a fast frozen embrace. It's justified. We're too late. Yes, he's lost to us for now, but never forget, we're just beginning. It says, then those dreams in my chill, deep slumber turned into nightmares. A grotesque parade of history gone mad.
That girl next to
revealing
Kennedy.
the world I died
I was
too
about to
soon
point
to
that
see.
out. Yeah.
That girl next to Kennedy is the Kent State shooting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that image of you have the body lying right in front where she's pointing off.
Yep. It's got a flood of images until welcome back to the living, Paul Kirk. Says, I'm healed how? Says it has taken almost 25 years while you lay frozen in cryogenics. The scientist there gives him his robes and tells him that they are part of a super secret organization, of course,
Not now.
of scientists looking to heal the world. So this is the sanctuary from which the council operates. Being brought back to life already impressed me. Doctor, isn't all this gilding the lily? Just what is your council? This is basically an organization of the world's top minds. 10 of us, banded together near the end of World War II, when the creation of the atom bomb made it obvious that man could
When it
now
starts
eradicate
off,
himself.
It's all tea and roses, isn't it? It's all very nice, and everybody wants the right thing, and it ends up in world government. We all know where it goes.
We've dedicated our skills to the advanced knowledge to seeing this doesn't happen. Pollution, overpopulation, racial and territorial strife, no small task.
I'm kind of depressed that the world's top minds is only like 10 people.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Well, look at that. What it says there: pollution, overpopulation, racial and territorial. I mean, where did you hear that yesterday?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now they just dedicate themselves to making their bank accounts as thick as possible. So the council's goal is to save the human race from itself.
Oh, we've heard that one before.
Yeah.
How many villains have had that tagline?
Yeah, do what you're
Exactly.
told. Stay in your 15-minute city. Don't leave. You can't have that car. That's not good for you.
Well, this is the age of Bond, also. You know, Sean Connery's running at this point, right?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. You
Well,
get great villains.
Just finished, and it's 73. That was Roger Moore, wasn't it?
Yeah, when was the
Moore
first
starting,
Roger
yeah.
Moore film? Was that The Man with the Golden Gun?
With it.
His first one.
Live and Let Die was the
I Live
first
and
one.
Let Die was his first one.
Golden
Really?
Gun was 74.
But between that was His Majesty's Secret Service.
No, that was 69.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
69.
And then Connery came back for Diamonds Are Forever in 70.
Forever.
Moonraker came back. Was
Moonraker was
George
77.
Lazenby, I think.
Yeah, that was one.
Lazenby. Yeah.
That was a late one, wasn't it? Moonraker.
Yeah,
And the last one he
77,
did was A View to a Kill, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it was about 85. I think.
With that awful Duran Duran song.
Oh, you don't
Was
mention that.
Was that Moore? That was the last Moore, right?
I think so,
Yeah.
You Two
Yeah.
Kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they gave him the worst song.
We had Dalton for 3, I think, right?
Yeah, I think Dalton was given a hard time. He was given bad scripts.
Yeah,
I think
he
so,
wasn't
too,
a bad
yeah.
Bond.
I've
No.
never seen the Dalton Bonds.
I have.
Never
He
seen
wasn't terrible, you know, but I think it was definitely a forerunner of the current Bond. So they were
Yeah.
trying to make him a bit more emotional and
Well, I
And
think he's turned into Batman. Craig's.
yeah,
Bond,
Yeah.
Skyfall was effectively Skyfall was that combination where it got it just right. It
yeah.
had humor in it. It was action. It didn't take itself too seriously, but it had a great story. They made a modern Bond in that one film.
And it had a good song as well.
Yeah, but all the other films
Then
were
they fell-
effectively too full of emotional crap.
They fell
Yeah.
flat on their face with
And
Spectre.
I haven't even watched the last one because I know how it ends. So it isn't a
Don't.
Bond film as far as
It's-
I'm concerned.
It's
So-
no, it's horrible.
No, well, I really
Yeah.
like the Pierce Brosnan ones, and you can call me a misogynist as much as you like. Okay, I really don't give a monkeys. Okay, they were good fun films.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all they were.
That's what Bond's supposed to be. Fun.
Exactly. It's supposed to be tongue in cheek. It's supposed to be fun. I think what they did with those Pierce Brosnan ones, where they got a good combination of kind of like seriousness and sort of, you know, like imposing villains, but at the same time, it was a great ride. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
a good laugh. So
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
forgot which one it was, one of the Brosnan ones, but it opens up, you know, like any Bond movie, he's on a mission and he's killing a lot of people. And like a lot of generals and stuff were back at it, MI6 with Judi Dench's M. And one of the generals goes, "What the bloody hell is he doing?" And she looks at him and goes, "His job."
his job. She was great as well. I mean,
Yeah.
she was an inspired solution to a problem that we didn't know we had. She's always great to watch on screen.
24 panels, if you count this.
Yeah, check all those panels out.
By the way. This
24
sets up
panels.
his training with Asano.
Nitobe.
He is a ninja.
Sets up his training and sets up his healing factors. He shoots him in the shoulder and pulls it out and shows that he can heal himself.
Look at that view at the top right, looking down the steps.
Down
Where
the
she's
stairs,
just shot
yeah.
everybody. That's fantastic. Look at that.
You're all gonna die.
Other clones.
Well, they're still continuing the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
They're, meanwhile, back in present day, they're still being attacked, but Christine's shooting
And
them off, and he's standing up now.
And
But
there's that
it's
Mauser
okay.
again.
It's okay to shoot zombies, life model
Clones.
decoys, and Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, and clones,
And
Yeah, well,
Nazi clones.
LMDs are clones, aren't they?
as we'll see here.
Yeah.
He gets an entire army of himself to train,
Oh dear.
is what happens.
That's Rogue Trooper, isn't it? Later,
Mm.
Rogue Trooper was a clone.
Yeah, but he's this Paul Kirk character is the original. They took
Yeah, I know.
everything off
I
of
know.
him
Yeah.
and made an entire. In the 25 years he was down, they made an entire army of clones for him to train, and him and Toby.
Can I just ask you a question?
Huh.
If if they're making clones of him, why does he have to train them? Are they not like him?
Why did they bother bringing him back? They could
Or
have
is-
just,
or are they?
They brought him back to lead the army.
so they could
yeah,
have
but if
saved
he's-
the electricity and turned the freezer
Just get
off.
one of the clones to lead the army.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, if you
Original,
got,
and he's got the healing factor.
Oh, have the clones not got the healing factor?
No, they weren't able to give that to them.
Oh, right.
Well, they're
They're
jerks.
just clones.
I
Yeah.
thought these guys are the finest minds. What's wrong with them?
Hey, finest minds doesn't mean that they make the best decisions all the time.
Oh, right. Okay. That's quite a controversial statement there.
Again, we're looking at 74 here, so young Mr. Lucas probably saw this
Yes,
Yeah.
probably.
at the same time. Yeah. The
Lucas saw
healing
a
factor.
lot of stuff that added to
So did
his inspiration.
the Wolverine creators. Saw the healing factor.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like that you don't hear enough from George Lucas about comic books.
Yeah,
I don't think he says enough.
him, Spielberg, and King.
Yeah,
You don't hear
because they
enough
were
from.
obviously inspired by a lot of comic books, and they don't say a lot about
undoubtedly.
it.
Yep.
They don't say a lot about it.
King says, if you're talking about Stephen King, he does says quite a bunch, but he doesn't really
Focus on it.
Yeah, focus on it because it's obviously a huge inspiration into his in his own stuff.
I think in the time that this was, again, like it wasn't considered a proper art form, was it? And so making them as
Absolutely.
writers and as filmmakers
Yep.
are like, well, I'll just stay away from that. But now, current year, there's no excuse.
No.
You can be saying, look, these things really made a difference to me, and they're important as a medium.
I always thought, not like the corporations remotely give a crap about published comics anymore, but I always thought they should have done a comic book offense fund as in conjunction with the comic book defense fund, and pay for some of these people to step in front of a camera and admit
To
their love
promote
of comics.
To promote the medium of comics, definitely.
Because comics have been all over entertainment. I mean, rock and roll, and just there's such a wide influence here because they were such an accessible, widely read medium.
Yeah.
Somebody's-
And you can talk about sequential art, so manga, American comics, European comics,
Mhm.
but the American superhero comic, not just superheroes, obviously the romance and everything else, but the American comics, they're unique to America. They're Americana. The way that they're done, in the same way that 2000 AD is explicitly British.
In a lot of ways, yes. Very
In
much
so many ways, is explicitly British, and
Yep.
and it's like that with American comics, and that's why you can kind of say, oh, manga and comics aren't the same thing. It's wrong. They're both sequential art. They're the same thing. They're just a different culture of sequential art. They're still the same medium. It's sequential art. But yeah, Americana comics just they have a place in pop culture. They have a place at the top of pop culture, if you ask me. And they don't get it. Just doesn't get the merit and the credit that it deserves.
Yeah.
There's some nice white out going on there.
Is that the stairwell where all those bodies were with blood on the steps?
Yep.
There's been a clear up operation.
Yeah.
The council comes in and cleans everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
But they don't clean up the blood.
It's Westworld, isn't it? They come out at night and clean everybody up. If you look at that drawing on the next page of that guy's face, that's real Steranko, isn't it?
I'm just trying to. I wish I could figure out how to turn that. I swear we didn't have that border on there before.
I thought it was bigger than
It's
that.
okay. And if you look at that page, the right-hand page, look at the great storytelling, the way we see the close-up and he goes away, even though he's approaching them in the car. It's like the top 5 panels there. Yeah, we see him, we see where he is, we see what he's doing, and we see that then he just goes further back, even though he's coming forward.
Well, the camera's pulling back to show the heroes.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, I know.
The cinematics in that.
Very much so.
The cinematics in that.
Yeah.
Pulling back from something that's moving towards you to the point of focus. I mean that's tricks that are done in the movies all the time, and to be able to pull that off, in a comic strip is impressive.
In the previous episode, he takes a knife and does the investigator here in, who's actually an agent. They go to leave. The agent goes into the Jeep and drives it right at him to run him over. So what do? Of course, you duck your way out of the way. You pull out a knife. You slit the gas tank as the Jeep goes driving by.
I wish I knew where the gas tank was so that I could put a knife into this. I wasn't aware of the schematics of that particular car.
That's a very strange car.
I'm sure
It's the big tank under the car. Yeah,
I presume that's adamantium knife there that can do that. There
It's
you
just
go.
super strong. That's all. Strips it open and
It's very
spilling out. He takes a match, which he conveniently has hidden
Yeah.
in his cloak as well.
It's very Judge Dredd, that sort of death scene, is it? Where the he wouldn't use the knife on the tank, but the way that he just casually finishes the job.
Yeah. Horrible. Yet, as my boss at Interpol, Damon, was using information I gathered to try this. Suppose there's irony in the way it worked out. Much more than you imagine, Christine. And then he continues on with the story in the council.
That's very Clint Eastwood the way he throws that match.
Yeah.
That's very Dirty Harry.
Again, more cinema.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Look at that page on the right there with all that machinery.
That's Steranko.
Yeah.
Very Steranko here. Very, very wood. A little bit of wood here.
Yep.
All the way through the page. Very Steranko there in the incorporation of the page. When was the Nick Fury's done? That we looked at earlier?
Steranko, 66, 67.
Yeah, so
66,
that would have been
yeah.
a big influence on that. So yeah, that's a direct come
Yeah,
on.
and by then he'd have gotten to the end of the run,
Yeah.
and he'd have been producing his finest work.
It's a shame Archie decided to put all that text over that drawing, isn't it?
It is, but there's a lot of exposition here talking
I know
about
he's got
him
to
and
say
the
it,
council
but,
and the
yeah.
healing power. And
You've got to put it somewhere.
yeah,
Yep.
Well, I always think comics should come like in two parts. So you should have all the art, and then you should have a separate book full of all the text.
an acetate overlay to put
Yeah,
on.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would
Yeah,
be.
they wouldn't be too expensive at all.
You had some problem, my boy.
Lovely lighting there on his face.
Yeah, the sign of evil.
A nice
Evil.
techie hat as well.
Well, he's talking mentally to all of the other members of the council. They're in suspended animation at the time. They all take a rest
Oh,
in order to live longer.
like vampires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know if you're talking
There's
to
some
me and
meta
telling
going on
someone
here.
I'm asleep, I remember everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Lovely
Tells him to
face
fall in
there.
line. He says no. Then they say there's going to be trouble. So he leaves. He's out on a
Fall
mission
in
trying
line, or there will be.
an assassination mission where they're testing him out, and he's not going to kill him because he doesn't deserve to die. And the guy, it's a setup. The guy knows. He turns the light on, and there's a whole group of his clones.
So the clones are about to attack him,
Yeah.
I guess. So it's an attack of the clones.
By choosing to do so, you failed our little test. I'm Damon Nustran. The council placed me with Interpol long ago, old man. Now I fear these gentlemen you were to have led must eliminate you. Clones.
Clones!
I wonder what he said in that last panel. I wonder if he swore and they could have changed it, haven't they?
I don't know.
I can imagine the music over the top of that.
It has been worked over pretty profusely, yeah. Could be a bunch of those cartoon icons.
Oh no, it's clones, not clowns.
Yeah. Could have been like the exclamation sign, the @ sign, a hash mark, another exclamation point. You never know. It's a great half face here. A little bit of shadowing as he comes in through the window.
You can see his line work in the hair. You can
Bit
see
of noir here, working that
you
window.
can see foreshadowing of his style in that hair. Yes.
So of course the next page, It's all fight.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
Fight the clones.
13
Brilliant.
panels on this page.
Bring in the clones.
As we
Yeah.
have a big fight, all one panel here.
Barbara Streisand's
Split into three.
singing over the top.
Yeah.
Sending the clones. Pow, 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 pew, pew, crack.
Which has him leaving, jumping out the window, live to fight another day.
13 panels. God. I love that. So he's not shown the building. That's the side of the panel.
Yeah.
And the white out is the, glass and stuff as he's dived out there. Brilliant.
Yeah. There's this. I was going to say there's a stripe of a building, but that's actually the gutter of the panel with the fence overlapped.
Yeah, it's just,
Connected to the-
he's not had any. No, I'm not having any of that. I'm just
It's
doing this.
Very
It's like
ingenious. Yeah.
brilliant.
And showing he's high up by the moon and the other buildings that he's falling. Goes to his weaponsmith, Nairobi, and picks up a stash. So,
And you get another these great Marvel things they used to do. They do little diagrams. They do like the Baxter Building or
Yeah.
Fantastic Car or something like that, or Avengers Mansion. And here you are, or the Helicarrier was all the other one. And here you go. No, this is the diagram of all his kit. It's great.
Yeah.
what a great way to get
Uh,
down to the
something
basement
Batman
without
too.
having to draw the basement stairs. Here, he just whips out a lantern, and everything else is in shadow as
Yeah.
he's stepping down. Down into his workshop. Then he weapons him up. You know what he's got, and
What's
everything
great-
here he's already used.
Yeah, what's great about effects like that, where he's going down into the basement, is that some of us might use that as a quick, as a shortcut, so we don't have to draw the stairs.
Mhm.
But he draws everything, so he that he's using that as an effect.
Yeah.
and it makes a change. It definitely changes the story.
And he makes up for it with all the detail in the workshop.
Yeah,
The next
yeah.
panel.
So it's definitely there's no shortcuts anywhere. Everything is done. Yeah.
And then he knows there's still going to be dialogue here, so he can't do a full dramatic shot of the character, so I guess he's on his knee. We'll just draw him crouching. It'll be great. With these, plus the basic red uniform I meant to flaunt in the council's face, became the new Manhunter.
Right. So those scientists that were trying to keep the world safe, they're now the villains.
Yes.
I thought this was fiction.
Along with an entire legion of clones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have they explained what the cages on his calves are yet?
No, they don't.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's just the aesthetics. Yeah.
It's just because he
Like-
really doesn't like getting his shins kicked.
They go to leave. They're done with the two-part really origin story. So then he tells them that the Interpol has labeled them as one. So find a man in a
Wow.
mask. Obviously, you're going to think he's a criminal.
Damn that Interpol.
Then classic story, Cathedral Perilous, Chapter 5. This is a pasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a great shot of a cathedral here.
Yeah, I mean, beautifully drawn, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
great.
Except it's a mosque.
Okay, a mosque.
That's what it says. Another mosque. And it's got a dome on it.
Another
Simonson
mosque?
just liked the picture.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought we'd
I like
seen
Elon
every-
Musk.
Another mosque. Henry, I've seen everyone in the city. This is a church, Emma. Long as we stumbled onto it, might as well look. This is a very classic Eisner spirit type story where
Yeah.
there's stuff going on, but the main character is there, the main story is there, but there's other stuff going on.
You can see more of his final style in that pasted on
Oh, here.
character there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, so yellowed. Hand drawn. This is done in by hand. That's not a paste in. So, and it's-
And all this sticky sellotape stuff on the side and everything. It's great,
Yeah.
isn't it? With all
If that-
with the register marks on.
there's that signature that he's got until this day.
Yeah.
Simonson's right there.
One of the best signatures I think of I've ever seen on a comic book.
Most distinguished, yeah. I just liked his signature. Grell's signature was also really cool.
Yeah.
Now this happy couple and their child are going through the tourists going through the cathedral.
Wow.
Kids dressed as a cowboy. He's got guns. Pow pow.
Yeehaw.
While the story is going on, they're breaking up some business at the cathedral. Manhunter and Christina.
That's a great face up there. That woman with the glasses.
Yeah.
Right.
Has he used a wash on that? Look at the girl at the bottom panel, her arm. It's where your finger is now.
Yeah, down that left-hand side. Yeah.
And if you look at
this is lines. This is lines. Here. This is all lines.
Is it?
It's just fine lines.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Blimey.
Same thing here. It's all line work.
Well, again, if you look over on the bottom right and you see the shading on the face of that monk, right down on the bottom, you can look at how fine that shading is.
Yeah. Wow.
Just all the great detail here. The point is they're stealthily walking through in monk's robes along, and the kid notices the gun.
I think some of those finer lines might be a mechanical pen.
Again, some great cinema at work here. I would say he's using the same pen point. That he's just that good at it. Yeah. I don't even know if he would switch tools at this point because he's inking. The inking here is really persistent. Consistent. The line weights and everything are all very much the same. A lot of negative space here. The ties around the monk's robes here are just open white lines.
I like how the four panels in the middle look like church windows.
Yeah. Rounded.
Yeah.
Yep. Meeting of the council's followers. What's keeping Damon? Well, Damon, he died last episode. He got fried. A little more respect for the cloth, please. We're all men of some importance. Our coming and goings rarely pass unnoticed. Who would look for any of us in the garb of a priest or monk?
They're full of themselves, aren't they?
The gateway.
Main guy comes teleporting in.
Wow.
Hello, Trek.
Those middle panels have seen a lot of sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's fat. Yeah.
Is it pasted up?
I'm wondering if there's some pasting going on. There's some photocopies and pasted.
It's this panel striped out and rubber cemented in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A lot of rubber cement there.
Yeah.
A little bit of time. Little bit of yellowing.
That eep is a real Simonson thing later, isn't it?
Yeah.
That effect.
Yeah. I think that turns into Workman does a lot of that material too. But here, his ring is going off.
Wow.
Giddy.
Showing there's a recording device in the room.
Are these all those smart scientists now? Have we?
Yeah. This is the head mad scientist, dude.
Yeah.
He was in the last episode telling him that he will be eliminated.
And he's got his flares on in the next panel, the middle panel.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a Space 1999 vibe going on there.
He's doing a Saturday Night Fever before John Travolta.
Yep. Seal every exit. They've been recording the meeting, so he tells Christine to get out with that tape, and he'll handle the rest. He jumps.
I like the way the whispering's done in upper and lowercase.
Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah.
As opposed to a broken up line for the balloon. Yeah,
I like that.
Again, there's an awful lot of lowercase lettering going on now.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't work. If you ask me, it doesn't work at all. But
not when it comes out of a computer. It just looks like typesetting. Yeah,
and this is perfect. This is brilliant.
Do you know? It's like there's like 58 panels on every page, as we've said. It's like he's not got enough room, isn't it?
No, he doesn't.
He's never got enough page.
He's been given 7 pages, and it's a 48-page story. But no worries, I'll just do 50 panels a page, and they all work.
He's using some serious fine line stuff, though.
Yeah.
I
He's
wonder
not.
if that's how it was written, like if it was scripted out, page 1, panel 1, or if Archie just gave them
I,
like a basic story outline. Or
something. I think Simonson's had a lot to do with this storytelling aspect on this.
The two of them worked on this together. He's repeatedly said it was really a mutual effort, because Goodwin has a sequential sense already. He's been working in the business for decades at this point. Plus, he started out wanting to get into comics, doing everything. And because his style was more cartoony, he turned to writing.
Right. The gateway.
So it wouldn't surprise me if the two of them ended up meeting and laying each page out at a time before he sat and did finals, just to make sure the story was there and that everything flowed.
So much effort for a backup story.
The gateway.
Yeah.
A lot of love, a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah. Goodwin was counterbalancing Batman at the time, which was pretty popular.
Yeah.
Still,
but I mean, it wasn't even its own. This is not its own book, and yet look at the effort that's going into it.
This stuff won, especially this story here, Cathedral Perilous, won a lot of awards. A lot of awards were started, comic-based awards that you don't hear about anymore, that they gave to.
Is that because they give them to people who deserve it?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
Yeah, you did. But that's okay. So we all know Will would roll in his grave to see some of these people that have been given an award off of his name. So anyway, he blows up the gate. And the fight gets more intense and gets carried outside.
Look at that kid's face.
The kids watching everything take place. The mom and dad are oblivious to it. They're looking at the church. Kids looking at all the action that's going on besides that.
That kid's seeing everything, isn't it? He's seeing the guy with the gun, and he's seeing nobody's paying attention.
All these people look the same and they're killing each other. What's going on?
Well, all of the clones are in blue uniforms, so you can tell.
Oh, right, okay.
The main characters in.
I have to imagine the colours.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Again, look at the expression on the kid on the top right, on the right hand page.
Yeah.
This
16 panels on that.
Jesus Christ. That's incredible.
Yeah. And again, that kid are paste-ins.
Yes.
Just slight changes.
Wouldn't it be great?
Lowered.
Wouldn't it be great if you found out that Walt was paid by the panel? And they thought they were going to pay him for like 30 panels, and he'd done that in 2 pages.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not how that worked. This is all love on this story, on this stuff. Just incredible stuff,
isn't it?
That's why I like it so much.
That's funny. That made me. I'm just reading that. It made me smile. On the other page where it says they've got him, and it says there's no recorder and no tape on him. What? Then? Oh, it must be the girl. These guys are the smartest brains in the universe, and they've only worked that one out. Took them a while.
That's why they're easily done in. They point that out in here too. Is that Manhunter's got all of this additional experience, just like Captain America, over top of these clones. So he goes through and just is able to mow them down. There is so much more that they wanted to do with this strip, so much more that they wanted to say or that they had planned on saying. They were hoping to get it as a regular series, but it just wasn't meant to be.
That's a very sort of Ditko strange window we're looking down on that panel on the bottom tier there near your thumb.
Oh, yeah.
That's a kind of a Ditko design, isn't it, in Doctor Strange that he would do in the windows.
Again, for tension. She's running off and it's all cracked up, and he's pushing the get her guys along. One clone left to kill the main hero. Okay, let's see how well your healing factor works with your head gone.
It's Judge Dredd. It's Judge Dredd. And then
it's just the way it is, citizen.
This whole sequence is so great. You know, the overhead shot there, just beautiful.
I wonder if he would see that where he was on top of the mosque and top of the dome there on the other page. I wonder if he was. I'd be tempted to draw a bat shadow on that guy there, like a bat, you know.
It's a mosque, but it has crosses on the roof.
Yeah, that'd go down really well, wouldn't it? Now,
Isn't there stuff like that in North Africa? Spain?
Guy's about to kill.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point, that Ross. Yeah,
guy's about to kill Paul Kirk and poked by a toy gun. And Manhunter subdues the clone and then throws the kid's gun back up to him. As the dad there wants to know where the kids run off to.
Yeah, he's just missed it all, hasn't he? But Dad. That kid's
Dad.
Scarred forever, and he's seen all that nobody believes in.
The way that they're drawn as well, that's quite comical.
Yeah.
Very cartoony here.
Yeah.
And again, silhouette. Just enough to get the point across. And then the final, well, we're going to have to come up with some a plan because it looks like he's really become a problem. This episode 6.
I just read that last panel.
Yes.
Mosques, cathedrals, after a while, they all look alike. Well, now they do.
And the kid just says, but Dad. To duel the mask.
I like this plane on the right hand side. I'm not quite sure how the rockets work on that, but
That's
it works.
Especially the one in the back here.
yeah, that's like there's nobody's inside that because that's just a big rocket.
They have to travel fast because he's broke his gateway.
So how does he get there? They're on the plane, and how does he get there?
He moves faster.
He runs fast.
He's ready. He's ready to chop the plane up. He's got his knife ready.
He's got his knife out so that he can stick it in the gas tank.
He sticks up his cage here. He holds that here on the side of his cage, so he's able to.
That's what the cages are for. There you go.
Cages are for. Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, look at the blacks in there. Look at the depth of ink. Gorgeous.
And that foot coming out the bottom panel as well.
Yeah.
Really, it takes you in. It's fantastic, isn't it? Just a little device like that. Just wonderful.
He's about to fight his master there.
And not overdoing it as well.
Training.
Yeah. Why do they always fight their master? Why do they always do that?
Because who else is good enough to fight them and have any kind of level of danger?
They should do a Brand Ek where he fights the master and doesn't win. That's why he's the master.
Yeah.
I may have taught you everything you know, but I haven't taught you everything I know.
Exactly.
I bet that's what you do, isn't it, Russ, in your classes? You don't teach them everything because
you got to keep them guessing. Got to keep them guessing. You can't slap them around as much. Can you?
A conversation exposition in 9 panels.
Yeah, again, beautifully done. It's just exposition, but it's interesting. It's great, dynamic.
I like Ned Beatty on the bottom.
Yeah.
Panel.
Yeah. It's Christine's dad. Who doesn't last long?
And that panel there, with that panel, that black panel, and it's right in the center there. You're still that man.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Those bottom panels, the wispy panels, they're great.
Yeah.
Somewhere between
like etching
Colon and Eisner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say very much Eisner here.
They look like woodcuts, don't they?
Mm.
Blam.
15 panels if you count the blam on that page.
That's just ridiculous.
Moving that story along. And we'll get to the fight.
I think if the artist today, from what I've seen, were given a directive to do 15 panels on a page, they couldn't do it because they just draw pin-ups, don't they?
They do a great big pin-up and then they do little tiny panels.
Yeah,
along the side. That's the image method.
I think, in all fairness, that there are a few artists out there that are doing great work.
Yeah,
but the mass, as it were, the majority of work seems to look very much the same. And the art of storytelling, there's such a lot of in fact, even with some people who are drawing really well, the camera angle choice is just abhorrent. It's just so boring.
Mhm.
And that's what you get. I think that's what you get when you start using. And I'm not going to say that everybody uses a 3D model shouldn't be using it. I'm not saying that, but if you rely on 3D modeling, if you rely on photographs, and don't log your own library of stuff in your own head, okay, and draw and draw and draw, then what happens is your sequential art becomes dull.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. You can't tell the story in an exciting way, even when there's dull bits in it, like exposition and what have you. And looking at the guys that we look at here, you can see why their artwork is put up and seen as excellent, because it's not just how great the art is, it's the storytelling component.
But they're free, aren't they?
People miss out. That's what people miss out.
Yeah, they're free, because if you're continually researching a photograph to fit the image that you've got in your mind,
exactly,
you're telling somebody else's story, aren't you, from the photograph?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously especially when I'm doing things like Doctor Who and what have you, got to get photographic reference, and sometimes you do, like trace a face or whatever, or at least not the whole face, but like the general feel, so that you know that you've got something in the right place, because it's important to get those faces right. It's very, very important in my mind. If you're going to do that, do it right. You've got to follow a brand. You've got to follow a look. But saying that, when you sit down and lay out your pages, you have to be completely free, exactly as you're saying, Glenn, to say, no, I'm going to do this angle, I'm going to do that angle, I'm going to bring people in from this side, I'm going to make that scene, I'm going to make this machinery, whatever it might be, okay? And then you see, is there any reference that might help me there? Yes. If not, then you have to work it out. Don't just rely on pictures and rely on 3D environments or models or whatever, because you will stunt yourself. There's nothing wrong with using those things, because every artist does it and every artist should do it. Use the tools that are available, but don't let them restrict you.
I think that's what Kirby used to do in The Losers, wasn't it? Especially The Losers, when it was obviously set in a real time, if you understand, in the Second World War. He would draw the guys had Thompson submachine guns, and they didn't look as detailed as Walt does in this, of that Mauser.
Yeah.
But you could tell the type of weapon it was, even though it was only a generic version of it. But I can't imagine anybody more than Kirby would know what a Thompson submachine gun looked like.
Exactly,
because
he actually used one.
He's used it for 5 years or 2 years, whatever it was. So, but you're right.
No, I mean, reference is hugely important.
Of course,
depending on the style as well. If you're doing a very cartoony style, not so much. But
that panel there proves my point. Look at that Mauser, that beautiful, the way it's rendered.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, that if Walt hasn't got a Mauser,
I can't imagine a reproduction one or something.
I can't imagine a physical one. I can't imagine you'd find a photograph from that angle.
You on this subject, we'll leave it after this maybe, but exactly, like, you'll understand this, Glenn. Okay, and that is having tools. The more tools you have, the more opportunity and ability you can muster. Okay, but it does create an environment where some people will rely too heavily on the tool. Okay, so we saw this in Photoshop, for a long time when Photoshop was getting going in the 90s, and it still happens an awful lot. And with comic strip, it's like, you now have the internet, you've got Google, and you've got all these things, and you can go and get reference of anything you like. You don't have to go to the library, you don't have to get photocopies of books out and all the rest. It's at your fingertips. But the problem is that so many people are going there before they're going to their own creativity. They're letting the tools overtake what they can do, and they're restricting themselves with the tool sets. And that's what I find a little concerning about a lot of the art that you see today, is that people are missing out on what we're looking at right here. And I think what it takes some self discipline to say, no, I'm not just going to rely on that picture. or whatever. I'm going to think about how I'm going to create a strip,
Mhm.
and it brings it to life.
Yeah.
it brings a story to life. Look at that
Right
hand.
here.
Yeah, it's fabulous, isn't it?
I don't know that you can actually discontort it. That's something else. I don't know that you can do that with a hand, okay? But it doesn't matter because it works and it looks it's bringing you in. And much like we were saying about all these artists, is that it's not photorealistic, but that's good. It's like hyper realism.
I think
It's disturbing the fabric of reality and making it into a story. I love that.
I'd love to ask Walt, because he'll know, because he's done this work. But the Mauser is the only sort of real thing that's in this strip,
Yeah.
and to me, I keep mentioning it, but to me, it stands out so much because it's so realistic, and it does exist, that weapon.
Mhm.
Whereas everything else is just, obviously made up in
imagination,
it.
yeah.
But this guy down at the left where your finger is, Randy, it looks like the demon, doesn't he? Looks like Kirby's
A
demon.
little bit, yeah.
It's his fighting mask.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's a fighting mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has survived, for he is a hunter. The council his prey, and while that prey remains at large, the hunter must fight on.
It's like a Yoshimitsu mask.
Throws
Yeah,
that star. Yeah.
It's the same mask from I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Onibaba.
No.
It's the same type of mask. It's an old Japanese horror film from I think the
Right.
50s or 60s.
Right.
Well, he would have seen that probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
It's a popular
I'm sure.
movie amongst like movie fans and
Right.
I think-
midnight
I think-
showings.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
He must have seen it, because don't forget he's doing this in 73, 74
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's 74
And-
probably by
And,
now.
and there's no internet then for him to,
No.
and there's no reason, unless he's studying Japanese art, which he may well have done, that he would stumble across something like that.
No
So I would
video.
imagine-
No VHS.
That's
Yeah.
right. So, but look at that hand in that middle panel, that left hand, where he's jumping down on the right-hand page. How good is that? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
How good is
yeah.
that?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Great profile.
It's just great. It's just brilliant. Look at that whack.
Smack his back,
He just smacks him with his elbow.
rolling and throwing.
Get out of here.
Very MMA move here.
Yeah. You know, the where he's throwing the star on the previous page, that's at the beginning of the book, isn't it? That,
Right here.
yeah, those three
Yeah,
panels.
those 3 panels. Yeah.
They were the
This book
end
is
pages or whatever they're called.
so huge. I've got to get a copy of this.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
I love that.
Do you want to see him up
That
close? There's a little
that
bit of pencil
mistake.
work right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that mistake in that panel where the blue line is pointing it out is it probably said, "And while the prey remains at large," I would imagine. But it just looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, right up there.
Yeah, that's fabulous. It should be printed that size.
And that would be a hell of a book, wouldn't
It
it?
would be a book, that wouldn't it?
That'd be a book. Yeah.
That'd be a gargantuan mess to use. No reading that one on the toilet. That's for sure.
Imagine coming off from the shop with it under your arm.
I think you'd need a lorry to bring that.
Yeah,
home.
that's to be delivered.
All right, kick to the head,
Wow.
flying
That's
kick to the neck.
That's Russ with one of his pupils.
I don't think I can do flying kicks anymore.
Anymore. Did you know that, guys? So he is the man in the black.
Yeah, I
Man
can't
in
do
black.
that. I can't do that anymore. I start to understand. When you get older, you tend to stay on your feet.
Just knock him out. Don't mess with him.
Don't mess with it. Just like, whoop.
Christine convinces Sano to join with them to fight against the council.
What a great panel that is
Well,
there.
he's seen
Asano
this
Nitobe.
happen.
He turns around. What a great
Yeah.
panel.
Again, negative space. There's no outline here on the hair, just like the
Yeah.
Steranko. Yep.
Yeah.
It's beautiful silhouette here to show the background. Just fantastic stuff.
And that helicopter, I've seen that. That's like one of the early helicopters, isn't it? That,
Mhm.
with those lands on water, with those things on the top. On the,
So the master did beat the student,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, good.
and
But
he
then
was
lost-
saved by
yeah. Christine, yeah.
Christine told him.
He'll be all right with time to rest and heal.
So he kicks him in the face and knocks him out, and then he's his best mate.
Well, she's told him
Well,
it's all a big misunderstanding.
well, he just found out that Manhunter had the same, or his mom had the same name as his. So
Oh, right.
Obviously,
Did you
that's
say
it.
Martha?
Yeah.
That's their Martha moment. For sure.
What's that great
Oh,
saying?
God.
What's that great saying from Louisiana? How do you know who your papa is? Because your mama told you so. That's what's happening here. You got the same name as me. Oh, it must be brothers then.
And the amplified words have their effect so that no others are spoken or needed. Until he'll be all right with time and rest and heal. When that time is over, let the council beware, for I vow to fight beside you, make our next battle the final one. At this point,
Ooh.
Archie knew he was about to leave as editor for Detective. And so they decided to end the story.
But it says the end. Is he saying that's the last one? Sorry,
Next.
sorry. What did you say?
No,
then?
no. Oh, no.
No,
Yeah, he's vowing to make their next battle the final one.
Yeah, and it says the end over the.
got a Damarung. That's
Yeah.
the end of
what.
the story.
That's the end.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, got you. Yeah, yeah.
Next Goddamn. Yeah. Now we are at the hour and a half mark. So
Well, how much more we got left of this?
we have an entire issue's worth of material left.
Oh, right. So we do it next week.
And this is the climax for the story.
Right.
We can show you this beautiful Jim
Oh, Neil
Aparo
Adams.
cover.
Neil Adams cover.
Nope, this is Jim Aparo here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Batman and Manhunter together for the first and last time.
Right.
It's back when they were
Spectre
doing
and the Creeper, awesome.
they were doing the great 100 pagers. Yeah.
That leg's a bit dodgy on Batman, isn't it? About 6 feet too long.
That was drawn. I'm sure that was drawn hurriedly by Aparo because I have what the original cover. Simonson says this is what the original cover was supposed to look like.
Oh, we mentioned this.
We've seen that
yeah.
before.
That would
Yeah.
be so much better.
Yeah, what a.
Oh, you
great
couldn't
cover
read
that is.
Detective Comics there, and Batman was in the background.
Oh,
Here,
who
Batman's
cares?
in the foreground. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
absolutely.
but-
I
but-
agree.
But we know what it
100%.
is, don't we?
Yeah. I agree 100%. But
There's a
that's what they
big
have.
Batman emblem above Detective, so you know it's his book.
You would think
Yeah.
so, but
Yeah, but you don't
Anyway.
care either, do you? Look at it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at that.
with
I
the
hope-
Goddard
I hope-
Damarung name right down the
Yeah. I hope Walt got paid for that.
Well, you see that
Rejected film.
is instantly recognizable as Walt, isn't
Yes.
it? That's the style is there now. It's
Yeah.
full on.
Well, he kicks it out in this story. I mean, it's like this is him given that room to breathe, given the full issue to tell the story, and that's what they do.
And he got to draw Batman.
And he got to draw Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to cover that next week, or do we
Yeah.
want to cover it now? Because we can.
I
I don't
either
think
way.
a half an hour is going to do this justice. Because
Well, then let's do it next week.
This
Yeah,
is a
let's do it
story
next
I've
week.
read a lot when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
do it next week.
this
Do
is
it next week.
the way Russ feels about Watchmen. This is how I feel about this book. So and this property in general. It's really a shame that they've never gone and done. But I understand any outside media with the Manhunter character. But it, from what I understand, it's out of respect for Archie that they haven't done anything merchandising wise with it. Though I would imagine now that the company's changed hands a couple times that doesn't matter.
I just love the way
Oh.
the guy's shouting fire, and if they do, they're all going to kill each other, aren't they?
Yeah,
Circular firing squad.
but dramatic nonetheless.
Yeah.
What great books these were. I mean, just I loved the 100 pagers back then because they ran so many oddball character stories.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, you got the
and-
Spectre and Creeper, two of my personal
Yeah.
favorite B-level characters
Yeah,
for DC.
Ditko the Creeper.
and these were all Golden Age stories, except the Creeper story. The Ditko Creeper story was Silver Age. Even the Robin story back then was the old. That's where the Polka Dot Man and not Paste Pot Pete, but there was a couple of other oddball, bizarro villains that came in when Robin had his own solo strip for a while in the Golden Age.
I always thought that they ruined Paste Pot Pete when they made him the trapster and gave him a fancy uniform.
Yeah.
Made him sort of a serious character rather than a little jokey one. I thought it was great.
Silly name. Yeah.
Paste
Not
Pot
as bad
Pete.
as the worst. I think the worst villain was a one issue. Well, there were two really bad ones that Marvel did after that, and that's the hoopster that Spider-Man fought.
The hoop stuff.
He shot hoops. Yeah.
That's
And
it.
little hoops. And then there was a guy who had a lethal theater act, and a magician dancer. He called himself Tommy Tap Tap. That was in Defenders. So it was a Hulk, Doctor Strange, Submariner story.
When you got to get a book out every week,
Fighting that kind of guy. Yeah, pretty much.
things suffer.
It was a fill-in story, granted. I think Bill Mantlo actually wrote it. But anyway, next week we'll go through Goddard Damarung, and there's all sorts of other material here to go in besides. There's
Wow,
that
look at
much
all that.
stuff that we can look at.
Yeah.
We can we're probably going to end up doing multiple on this. Plus, they have the
Oh, it gets better. Oh dear.
they do have the prologue or the epilogue in this for this entire story, because there's beyond this story, which was took up the full 20 pages of Batman in the Detective comic. They did another 22 page story to cap it off to celebrate the, I think it was the 25th anniversary of the character.
All right.
That
Cool.
that was done after Goodwin had passed. At Walt did off of the plot that the two of them had talked about doing before Archie passed. So he ended up doing the story himself. Walt did, and then the story is completely without dialogue. In appreciation for Archie. But anyway, more Manhunter next week.
Yeah.
It'll be great fun.
What's that Beatles song? Getting better all the time.
Just fantastic material. And it's also stuff that very few people have seen, unless you've intentionally bought the Manhunter collections that they've done over
I've
the
never
years.
seen this.
Nobody has
No,
seen this. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen
Very
this.
few people have seen this, and it's really just beautiful stuff. And it's the rawest Simonson I think you're going to find, other than that Adventure Stories story. It had to do with two samurais, I believe, and a large spider. So I should try to dig that story up. I know I don't have a copy of it, but if I run across it again, because I remember at the time looking at the artwork and going, "Who the heck did this? This is kind of scratchy and weird looking." So, anyway,
It's a real Neil Adams Batman there, knee hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
here.
No,
No,
it's,
bottom.
Oh, here.
Bottom.
that one,
Very
yeah.
much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Fabulous.
pure Aparo, though. This is
Yeah.
very Brave and the Bold reminiscent. We should look at those sometime as well if there's ever an artisan edition of that. But we've been looking at the artist edition of Walt Simonson's Manhunter and other stories put out by IDW. So just fantastic stuff if you get a chance to purchase one.
Do IDW have to pay DC a royalty?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Like they get buy a license. Or
You have to
anything
get
like that.
you have to get a license in order to print this stuff. I
So-
would
so-
imagine they did.
So they asked DC. They say we want to do this big oversized artist edition, and then they pay them whatever they pay them for the rights to do that.
This, as far as I know, this material was the first material ever to be sub-licensed out to a secondary printer to be collected. The Manhunter work, because there was a black and white version of this trade paperback done. I believe Scott Dunbar's or another side company. I've got it here. That took all of the material up through the full Detective Comics story and printed it in one volume for people to enjoy. And that was after that it had won so many awards. They licensed the rights to print the work and sub printed it. DC didn't print it. And then DC has done a prestige version of this that had this exact cover on it. They've done a couple of versions with this cover on it. They did a 25th or 50th anniversary gold edition that I've got in my rack here. And right here.
Wow.
That's got that material in it. And they've printed this 2 or 3 different times. As you can see, the coloring is very detracting from the artwork. So look at that mess. That's not the same colors that they used in the that I remember that were in the detective stories. There he is in his outfit. Not the same as what we're looking at.
I'm not impressed with the colouring on that one, but
I'm
this-
not.
It
I'm
is
not either
distracting.
at all. Very,
yeah,
very much so.
that's lovely.
All right. Again, we want to thank everybody for listening in. We didn't get a lot of chat work. Oh, some sprung up at the last minute here. Michael came in, says, I'm sad the show is over tonight. Really enjoyed it as always. Thank you, Michael. We're always archived over on the Indie Comics Network, so don't be afraid to go over there and take a look. Indy says, thank you, gentlemen. Very welcome. Levi is in the house. Thank you, Levi. Thank you for all the show this morning. Wonderful stuff. Love it. Love it too. Thanks, Levi. We need to talk very soon. Michael again says, I cannot tell you how much I look forward every week for this show. Well, thank you very much,
That's
Michael.
nice. Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
sure
that's
you set your alarm and join in on the chat. We'd love to hear your feedback
Yeah.
as we go along looking at this material, this great
Tell
stuff.
all your friends.
Please find out how to make it bigger next week. I wish I could. I thought we had a full screen here, and we'll work on that, Levi. We'll try to get it up there. I don't know what the problem is. So there's probably a button I'm not
I'm
pushing.
going to say you probably some button you've missed. Yeah, never mind. We can still see it though.
So I can. No, even that's full size. Yeah, I've tried playing with different buttons and that. I'll have to ask Nita what's up with this, because I remember it being full screen before.
Isn't it one of those panels along the bottom?
I thought so, but it's not really.
Hmm.
We've got that one.
Don't
got that
discover
one.
what to do now the show's
We've
over.
got that one.
We'll
Well, we'll have
all
to
again.
redo it if we could find it. We'd redo it, right? Yeah, it's just not there. That's
Fabulous
really
book.
odd.
Fabulous book though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
that
It's
is a good book.
fabulous.
Says
Is
my
that-
eyes aren't what they used to be. Yeah, I agree, Levi. Same
Is
here.
that on the cover there where the
Watch the
Manhunter's running
VODs.
towards you? Is that from the other one you showed in colour? Have they
No.
put it out?
Different.
This here?
It's the
No.
same position, but it's a different illustration.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
This was done for a collected volume. They kicked out a prestige format book like they did with the New Gods material, where they collected 2 New Gods at once in one volume. Did you ever see those? That
No.
were saddle stitched and had
No.
a Kirby wraparound cover on it.
No. I haven't seen those.
I got copies of those too.
Wow.
Anyway, great stuff. Glenn, tell.
Yeah.
Blow you up there.
Uh,
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, you can find me on all the usual places. You can find me on these podcasts. You can find me on Amazon. All my work is there. You can get this book from me, which details and tells a story of my meetings with Jack Kirby at his home. And with that, you get a DVD of me talking with him in the studio. I also produce this quarterly or every couple of months or so magazine about comics, 100 pages. You can get that on Amazon, and you can go to Indiegogo right now and sign up for the pre-launch of my character Hatch. It's a 44-page color story about this little guy, and that's on Indiegogo right now. And thanks for having me on, Randy.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. You can sign up for my email list there. You can also sign up for my Instagram. All my connections to social medias are there at russleach.com. You can find me in the pages of Batman Magazine in the UK across Europe. You can also find me in the pages of Only Death Can Save Us. You can get the first book on anywhere. It's by New Haven Publishing, or you can get the original version of it. It's still available. I've still got a few available of the original version of it over at Indiegogo, where the second book is still there in campaign mode. That will be printed next month and going out to people. So you can find about all that at my website as well. All the links are there, russleach.com.
Fantastic. Mitch, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at Linktree/Celtic Cross Studios, where you can find my website, online store, and everything. My online store, of which you can pick up both of my Boger collections, the original and Southern Gothic, and keep an eye out for the Boger ongoing campaign, which will launch at the end of this month.
Cool.
Great.
Nita says every day something in StreamYard has changed. Wish they'd calm the fuck down.
Say what you mean, Nita.
Absolutely.
She always does.
Can't agree more. Can't agree more. Folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We do this every Friday morning because it may be real early for you, but it's middle of the morning for Glenn and Russ. And we love having them on the show and looking over some of the best in sequential artwork that we can find. And Mitch, whenever he's available and having bout of
whenever
insomnia.
I can't sleep, and
Yeah.
I'm actually up at this time. Yeah.
If you were betting on Scott Roseman, you lost again.
So,
Why
Scott,
are you
wherever
still
are.
betting on him?
Exactly. I was hoping Brian K. Morris would join us today as well.
He's another slacker, isn't Brian?
he's up
No,
late though on a Thursday night, isn't he?
Well, he should
Charles,
just stay awake and carry on and then go to bed.
I popped in to see his show last night. So
anybody in the business out there who does comics, who wants to be on this show, please contact me. Love to have you on. Love to get your opinion as we go through this stuff. We love this stuff. That's why we show it off. I've got a lot more to show. There's so much more to talk about and to show off. There's so much great comics out there for you to find. Don't be discouraged by anything that you see coming out in modern or how difficult it is or all these crazy collectors of values. There's reprint books out there. There's a way to find this material so that you can enjoy it. And that's what we're here to do, is to help you show off some of this great stuff and point out what we see as artists. More eyes on this stuff, the better, in my opinion. So if you want to come on this show, do contact me. We'll put you in the room along with us. Please feel free to always join in on the chat as well. We value your opinion. If there's somebody out there, an artist whose work you admire that you want us to take a look at, do let us know. We can dig it up and find it. So I've got I'm looking at doing a show on Alex Nino here really soon with some great stuff. If I can't find it, I'll fake it. We'll figure out how to get that on there, because he's another artist that I admire greatly that I think is underappreciated. Darwin Cook, I want to look at very much so. New Frontier, and I've got a beautiful art book by Darwin Cook. George Perez, we want to do the same thing with. We also have a show on Sunday morning. I want to point out that we're probably going to start doing this kind of work as well, only probably focusing on more of the fringe and fun side of sequential art. This Sunday, I'm thinking we're going to go through a series. I've got 3 copies of Foom that I don't think anybody has seen, and it's a great magazine if you're into comics and you're into the nuts and bolts of comics. And each issue is a time capsule of how the Marvel bullpen was back then. Foom stands for Friends of Old Marvel. Marvel had a fan club back in the day. You'd send them a couple of bucks. They send you a magazine once every quarter, along with a startup package where you had a card showing that you were a member of the club. And they sent you this great fold-out poster of Steranko that the last time I looked at a show, somebody wanted $125 for. But I had it posted up in my bedroom when I was a kid and, stared at it for hours. It's got all these great Marvel characters zooming at you. It's a fun poster. Anyway.
I'd like us to do a show on that not so well-known artist. What's he called? Jack Kirby.
We've got, Scott's got the Forever People, I think, artists.
Right. Well, he's got.
So we'd have to get him up early. Well, that didn't sound right either. We'd have to wake him up early enough.
Maybe we could do that one on the Sunday. Then he might be awake then.
Might be able to.
Boom.
Where is that? What in the heck? Just a second here. And again, there we are. Boom. There we are. There's a Foom. Exactly.
Don't you know that hurts?
Sunday Funnies, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Also archived over at the Indie Comics Network for you to enjoy at your leisure. So if you turn if you can even turn up the playback speed a little bit where we all sound like chipmunks. That's always amusing. Folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at aerocomics.store, aerocomics.store. You can also find a great issue of Only Death Can Save Us that Russ has done. You can find Revolt magazine that's got some examples of Glenn's work in it. You can find Paragon over there for sale. That's a great superhero story that I wrote and very proud of, with artwork by J.R. Harris. You can find Calico of Shard over there with artwork by C. Michael Lanning, and a number of other works as well, plus 2 issues of Hero Bot Zero. one of which has a cover by Mr. Scott Roseman, and the other one
he made it to the show then.
He did make some of his artwork at least. Anyway, plus Hero Bot 01 with the cover that I did. Hero Bot 0 is my character. He's a 3-foot tall giant robot who fights large monsters and defends his city as long as he can do it on the clock in time and a half for overtime.
Love that. That's such a great elevator pitch.
Just wait until you see the Fool. I can't wait to get this done. I'm having this colored right now.
This is fantastic.
This is a product I've had for years that I've been sitting on. This is the easiest way to describe him as the rodeo clown of justice.
Look at
That's
that.
what he is. He goes around and fights street crime, and anybody he detains for the police, he takes a section of his clothing and then incorporates it into his action duds. So the whole first issue is a couple of cops trying to figure out how to get him the hell off the streets.
Brilliant.
I love it. I'm very fond of that book, and I can't wait for everybody to see it. And the coloring just adds another dimension onto the great artwork that was done by Chris Tyson. And it's an older work, but it's an evergreen work, and I can't wait for you to see it in color. So, and that'll be coming up at aerocomics.store. That is part of the second tier of Aero Comics that are available over at the Chrome Dog campaign right now on Indiegogo. If you go over there, we're offering the initial Aero tier still for $50. That's eight issues. All of them are number ones. Then we have a second tier we're offering for $40, which are 6 more issues. Fool number 1 is part of that. Chrome Dog is part of that. What else are we including? Hero Bot 02, Revolt 2 is part of that. And there's a couple of Hybrids 2 is part of that. And there's another book or 2 besides. There's six in all. So go over there and look at that. That's Chrome Dog over on Indiegogo right now. The campaign is up and running. So, and they are almost at goal. They're so close, it's not even funny. So at least I think they are last time I looked. So anyway, folks, take care. Anything else we want to say? Buy independent and alternative comics, especially ours. Take a look at go visit your local retailer, especially if he has an extensive, or he or she or they have an extensive back stock, and take a few moments to go through some boxes. I was just at my retailer on Wednesday and going through all of his back boxes, looking for a copy of Savage Sword of Conan number 8 with that Alex Nino story in it, and looking for there's a Cull magazine I think that I need to get. So.
I've just picked up 2 issues on eBay, and I'm in a bid for 13 issues. So.
For the black and white magazines, yeah.
I know there's one.
Well, at the moment it's only £6.50.
Oh, I might jump in there.
Oh no! I've put a high bid in. So,
okay. Don't worry, I won't.
You're not going to make it. Yeah.
I feel secure.
There we are. It will be mine. I just bought a book from Amazon. They said there was only one left from 2009 that I didn't know existed. God. That is an old Cull adaptation of the Shadow Kingdom. That
was that a
that
Dark
Conrad
Horse one?
Conrad did the artwork on.
Was that a Dark Horse?
Yeah.
I
think it was.
That. Yeah. Again, not bad, but
it says it's 196 pages long.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Ooh. Well,
I can't. The only thing I can figure out is there's a lot of single page splashes or double page spreads.
Hasn't it got the text in it as well? Hasn't it got the original text in it?
I don't know if it does or not. I can't wait to see it. I hope I get it because there was only one left, and more than likely, you know how their inventory goes. So they might not. It might not exist. We're not sure yet. I'm hoping. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, I think we're looking for a particular look and feel to what we're going to do.
I think so too,
and I don't think anyone else will be. I think it will. I'm hoping that it will be reminiscent of the stuff that we loved in the Conan magazines.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like anybody's done anything quite like that since.
No.
So that's what we'll be aiming for.
No, because they get fancy with the Photoshop and stuff. Come on. Yeah.
I
There's a lot to be
a
said
nice,
about classic comics.
a nice black and white with glossy pages. I'd love to see it.
We've seen with that. We just saw with all that Manhunter material. A lot of times it's black and white's the way to go.
Yeah.
All right, check out the other programs here on Indie Comics Network. Make sure you come back for Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. We'll be fooming. Then it'll be great. There's
possibly foaming.
Every issue is a time capsule of bullpen and Marvel announcements that you're not going to want to miss. So we'll see you there on Sunday. Then back here next week, folks, as we go through more Manhunter, and if we have any time left over, there's a few other Simonson works from DC that are also included in that book, Dr. Fate and Metal Men, and just great stuff to look at. Exactly. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.
See ya.
Comics by Night.
Those are done.
Go out with a little bump and I forgot to run this too.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
How can you not love what we just looked at, though? So, and just drool over it like we did. Everybody, take care. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Again, I hit the button and it didn't go through. Here we go. Let's do it again.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comics Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
And thanks to Nita for reminding me, there is a Hybrids new campaign over on Indiegogo where they're campaigning the RPG and a trade paperback of Luke's Hybrids work over there. That trade paperback has got the Arrow Comics logo on it. Plus, both of the Arrow Comics tiers are also available over at that campaign. That is a Hybrids double feature RPG and trade paperback. There's the address for it. If you can't get to it directly through Indiegogo, you should be able to find it under Hybrids RPG. At least I was finding it that way yesterday. So, and they just started that campaign yesterday, and it's already rolling really well. So go over there and take a look at that as well. We'll see you soon, everybody.
See ya.
Take care.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration.
It's never a sway.
Once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!